Good evening. I can't tell you what a great honor it has been to be a Steamboat Institute Fellow since 2016. I was just telling Anthony and his wife Olivia, who have their baby here with them, that if you recall, in 2016, I just had my first baby. And she slept under the table at Carly Fiorina's feet during this very dinner. And now that child is 9 years old. So that's how many Freedom Conferences I've been to. Yes. It's such a great honor to share this title with so many fantastic young journalists and public policy advocates: Jillian Melcher, Tom Rogan, Kelsey Bowler, Philip Wegman, Amber Duke, Sagarin Jetty, Patrice Onwuka, Carrie Sheffield, whose beautiful violin music we heard tonight during the reception, Sarah Bedford, George Bogdan, Kaylee McGee-White, who's not here because she's on maternity leave, and Brad Palumbo, who I'll ask to join me on stage. Brad was last year's Steamboat Institute Fellow, and I've been so proud to watch Brad as he does exactly what Steve's saying. He went into the fire, and he's not afraid to go into the fire. How many of you have seen Brad's viral CNN clip from the last few weeks? If you've not seen this yet, I recommend it to you. We believe, of course, very strongly in individual freedom at the Steamboat Institute, and we believe every person's opinion matters equally, no matter if they are a white guy or a white man or anything else. I'm not sure that all the panelists at CNN share that point of view, but I'm so proud of Brad for arguing on substance and arguing for our principles at the Steamboat Institute. So Brad's going to come up here and make a very special presentation to our next Steamboat Institute Fellow. So please come back to the stage, Brad Palumbo.
Hi, everybody. It feels like just a couple of months ago that I was here, but it was actually a whole year. Time really flies, especially when you are doing important work and having a lot of fun and making a splash, ideally. So just a quick word on the Steamboat Institute Fellowship. It's been a real honor to participate in it this year. Thank you to everybody in this room who made it possible. I've had opportunities, whether it's going into the Lion's Den on CNN or interviewing a four-star general in one of our campus events. I've had opportunities to do things I would absolutely never have had the opportunity to do. So thank you to Jennifer, and thank you to everybody involved in the Steamboat Institute for making that happen. Now, I'm sure that my eventful year will very quickly be shown up by this year's fellow, Carine, who I've gotten the chance to get to know and have been incredibly impressed with. As a Massachusetts native, I can tell you how impressive it is that she is a conservative editorial board member of the Boston Globe. But it takes courage and tenacity to advocate for your ideas in an environment like that, where they really will. They'll try to, death by 1,000 cuts, fact check you and really just it's their opinion, or otherwise make it difficult for you to speak about the values we share in this room. But she's done that remarkably well. And many other things. She just told me how she just spent 2 weeks reporting in Lebanon, despite obviously Hezbollah and having publicly criticized them in the past. That is pretty remarkable and takes a lot of backbone and courage. So I'd like to invite Carine to the stage so we can present her with this much-deserved fellowship.
Thank you, Brad, for that very kind introduction. No wonder we both ended up in opinion journalism, fellow Massachusetts dissident. We've spent our entire lives arguing the obvious. I want to especially thank Tony Blankley's family for trusting me to represent his tremendous legacy. Thank you to the entire Steamboat team, to the donors, to everyone here for this generous fellowship, and also for just this thoughtful network. I've really enjoyed just all the conversations I've had today. Most of all, thank you to the Fellowship Selection Committee for not shredding my application the minute you saw the name of a legacy media outlet. Thank you. This actually is not my first Steamboat affiliation. I was once a ski instructor at Steamboat Resort. Yep. Yep. I'm just hoping that this time my experience doesn't end with knee surgery. So, like Brad mentioned, I just returned from 3 weeks reporting in Lebanon. My father's family is descendant from Lebanese immigrants. My mother's Venezuelan of Lebanese heritage. And to this day, I have relatives that have to bounce between these two countries depending on wherever is more stable at the time. This background means that I haven't just read about American exceptionalism in books, I live it. So America has been my family's refuge. It's been their greatest source of opportunity, and it's been our foundation, really, for stability. In Venezuela, family businesses have suffered and died because of socialism. Dissent and prosperity are punished. In Lebanon, Hezbollah has held the country hostage, doing Iran's bidding, and many of my peers and even my cousins have to leave to make a life. There's no opportunity in the country as it is right now. And so for me to stand here as a 26-year-old woman with the ability to openly share my views, especially to an audience that most of the time doesn't agree, and to share my opinions with the national audience, that is living proof of American exceptionalism. Yes. But it's also an exceptionalism that many of my peers have taken for granted. And I've seen this a lot covering campus protests all over the country over the last 2 years. Students and even some of my own peers have been lied to by the people that teach them, by the people that advise them. They've been told that this is an irredeemable country. They've been told that the Western order is built on nothing but oppression. And so I've watched activists in Manhattan and Cambridge, mind you, holding $8 lattes, having fancy apartments, romanticizing death cults. And it doesn't stop on campus. I'm most worried when I look in K through 12 classrooms, children are being told that excellence is oppression, that opportunity is predetermined by your identity. In Massachusetts, I've spent some time reporting on equity initiatives in progressive public school districts, and these are communities where they've lowered the academic standard in the name of justice. And then the people who pay the price are the minority and low-income students they purport to want to help. We must pursue a better way, especially with this momentous anniversary coming up for our nation. Young Americans have every right to call out the flaws in this country. Sorry. In fact, it's part of the reason that this is such a great country, that we can openly call for improvement and say what we would like to see better. The problem is that when these calls come from a place of hatred, it leads to destruction. If they come from a place of love and patriotism, that can lead to renewal. So that's why restoring pride in our nation's values is, to me, one of the biggest, highest priorities that we have to achieve justice. And that's why I'm grateful to the Steamboat Institute, because they're supporting work that is meant to uplift and better this country as opposed to tear it down. So thank you.